who am I trying to be in this next phase of my life, and how my fragrance collection support that. Your fragrance collection isn't better just because it's bigger, okay? It's better because it's functional for you, it serves a purpose, it empowers you, and it becomes strategic and intentional because it's about the way that you show up, about the way that you present yourself. I know I use my fragrances strategically because, you know, sometimes people like to play with women, and then I'd be like, look at you, you done fell to the, you know, wows and dows of a little rose and vanilla. You thought I was playing with you. No, I got you right where I want you. What does perfume have to do with strategy? Well, I will tell you. A lot of people think of fragrance and they just think about smelling good, but I've come to realize that fragrance is more about strategy than people think. And we've talked a lot about becoming a signature woman on this channel, and that is the woman who always seems to be effortlessly polished and put together, but typically her routines, her look, the places that she puts herself in are not haphazard, they're very intentional. And oftentimes her fragrances are intentional too, because it's not just about wearing something that smells good, it's about selecting the fragrance that fits the vibe and is situationally appropriate. Selecting the fragrance for the situational outcome that you want. It's about understanding how a fragrance will perform in a particular scenario and why, because it's like you wouldn't wear tennis shoes to a grand ball or show up to the gym in stilettos or something like that. So fragrance is the same way. So as a crowd full of fragrance lovers, I'm sure that we can all agree that we approach fragrances emotionally, but sometimes we can approach them from a strategic perspective and help our fragrance collection be more intentional and functional and work for us. So today I'm going to share a helpful fragrance framework that will help you curate an intentional collection that feels like you and serves you in every scenario. So if you are interested, then you are in the right place. To my subbies, welcome back. And if you are new here, welcome. My name is Kiya, and over here we smell good and elevate. We talk about fragrance, fashion, lifestyle, and everything having to do with womanhood and showing up and becoming the best type of woman that you want to be. So to supplement our fragrance journey and content on this channel, we have a signature woman series. So definitely go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the fun. And just a disclaimer, no, this is not a video telling you like being intentional, don't blind buy, don't overconsume. This is genuinely trying to help you figure out, you know, like what works for when, what's the best case scenario for your fragrances. So let's get right into it. Before I forget, combo of the day is super perfect and fitting for the summertime. I'll get more into this, but we are brown sugar babes over here. So I have Woody Spice, which is a beautiful, sweet, woody, just a very neutral smelling type of oil that I love. I feel like it's perfect for layering when you really just want to let your fragrance shine, and it's not like you're layering something that smells similar or mixing notes. This just provides literally just like a base that allows whatever fragrance you spray on top of it to shine. So today I have from the House of Argos, which is Perfume. Y'all know I absolutely love this, and I went on a world tour telling y'all about this because nobody was ever talking about this or reviewing this. It is a beautiful vanillic lavender with a burst of citrus. It's perfect for the season because I heard somebody said that we're not doing vanillas in the summertime, and I do not love that for my vanilla lovers. So if you are looking for something that will perform well in the heat, shine all summer, that gives you that vanillic tone with a nice twist of lemon, then Argos Perfume is the perfect balance of delicacy, femininity, and it still has a strong presence as well. Absolutely love this one. So the first tip in my fragrance framework is to always match the environment. When I first think about what I'm going to wear, y'all have heard me say this time and time again that I am a situationally based fragrance wearer. So I always want the fragrance I'm wearing to support the environment that I'm entering so that I invoke what it is that I am trying to invoke. Okay, so if I'm in more of like a cozy, chill, or relaxed mood, hanging out around the family, then I might just reach for my soft musks, my cozy vanillas, my marshmallows, my tonkas. So you might see me reach for something like the Glossier you do. I want to shout this out too for my vanilla lovers, because this is a perfect summer vanilla because it has a sweetness. You get all of that vanilla. It's got some woods in here, and then it has some florals that lift it, and this is from Glossier, so it's a skin scent, so it's not doing too much, but it will definitely amplify any other fragrance that you put with it. I put this in my how to layer to complement not compete video as well, and I went through all of the vanillas and all of the vanillic bases that you can use to, you know, mix and match and layer perfume. So definitely check that video out. But like, yes, this is one that I definitely would recommend for the summer, and also just like a best all around chill, comforting, and cozy type of vibe. If I'm going on a date for date night, you know, vanilla is very familiar. We all love vanilla because of the familiarity that it brings. The psychology of vanilla is that everybody just gets it. Y'all have heard me talk about that extensively time and time again. Like, even if you are not a vanilla lover, like, everybody has to bow to vanilla because she really is that girl. I was just talking to my friend today, and she was saying, like, I don't have any vanilla fragrances. I don't like vanilla. I said, babe, you got Vanilla Vice, you got Burberry Goddess, that's vanilla. And she was like, okay, I guess it's just not typical vanillas because we have a similar taste. But if, say I'm going on like a date and I still want to give like that cozy, comforting allure, but just kick it up a little bit, I might go by C from Giorgio Armani, because this is a vanilla, this is a rose, it has some sensuality in here, but it also has that comforting familiarity. So I absolutely love this one. If I'm at work and I want to, you know, leave a good impression, you want to get that polished presence energy. Y'all know we have the archetypes on this channel, and you can go ahead and take the archetypes and personalities quiz. This is from the house of Mason Francis Kirkjohn. This is Amorous Femme, another one that does very well in the summertime because it has these florals, this powdery iris, a burst of lemon, some vetiver, super pretty, super elegant, feminine, and it's giving like she means business, but still in like an approachable way. So I absolutely enjoy this one. It has a soapy feminine tone and quality to it. And then y'all know I love a soft, airy, feminine fragrance that has a soft smell, but it wafts through the air. But sometimes you just have to give them a statement. That would be our statement maker archetype. If you just want to go in the room, leave a statement, the fragrance speaks before you do, and you don't even have to say a word, then I might hit them with my Narciso Rodriguez Rose Musk Noir. The dogs is barking. They're excited about the framework, okay? The dogs are co-signing. So yes, if you want to make a statement that is sensual and powerful and very feminine, and people are going to smell you before they see you, Narciso Rose Musk Noir is a great one to grab as well. I pulled out pretty much my whole collection for this, y'all. Y'all hear these bottles clinking because I had to see what I wanted to grab and pull for my examples in this video. But it's not about having so many different fragrances. This is for, you know, the people. I'm not talking to y'all who are in the front row like, Kiya, I have 100, I have all these fragrances. We know what we got going on. I'm talking about for the other people who are joining in. Literally, you do not need to chase every fragrance. You do not need a million fragrances. It's just all about knowing like what the fragrances are due, how they play out in a scenario, and then how you can make them work for you. So the second step in my strategic fragrance frameworks is to match the season. And when you first hear that, it might seem obvious, but it sounds less obvious when you realize that the fragrance recommendations per season, they are not just a suggestion that is arbitrary. Fragrance actually performs differently depending on the season, depending on the weather. Okay, so that's why sometimes a fragrance that might shine in the winter, it might feel very cloying, very stifling. It's too much in the summertime because of the notes composition, what's in it. It's heavier, it's deeper. And then similarly, if a fragrance seems like it's just lackluster and dull in the wintertime, if you're pulling for something that's just more lighter and has those citrus notes in it, well, then the air composition, the weather itself, that coolness, is not giving the fragrance what it needs to really dissipate and to really shine. So the air quality and the season, that kind of thing, it really plays a difference in how the fragrance is going to perform. Why? Because heat amplifies and dissipates a fragrance. So because the heat is going to amplify the projection, the fragrance itself hasn't changed. It's just the quality of how we're experiencing it changes due to, you know, the elements and everything. So something like Camera in the dead heat, for everyone, this might not work out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna wear Camera all year round, and that's the other caveat to this. I'm gonna get into that because, you know, it's not about just having all of these rigid rules that you follow. It's just having a baseline of knowledge and strategy, and then you can bend the rules. You can break them a little bit, because this is our life, this is our journey. We can do what we want, but it's helpful to know this information as a baseline. So these thicker, sweeter, and denser compositions, these might not work out for everybody in the heat, because they just have a heavier pull on them. The heat is really going to like wrap around and dissipate it and make people, you know, be able to smell you. But similarly, if you have something like Ilio, this is from the House of Diptyque. This has an iris, a prickly pear. It has a watery and musky quality to it. I think it has like some type of bergamot burst that's in here. If I wear this when it's cold outside, when it's winter, it might not really give much, because the air is contracting, is really not doing much for the fragrance. So sometimes in the summertime, you would want to wear those fresher fragrances. You will want to wear those airier fragrances. Why? Because the air, the heat, and the nature of the temperature is actually helping the fragrance for you. So this is when we get into like projection and like longevity, all of these types of things. Is like, if you wear your fragrances appropriately seasonally, then a fragrance that can seem like, oh, it doesn't project, oh, I can never smell it, and you think you might need to spray more. No, you need to just spray it accordingly in the right season, okay? One fragrance that I absolutely love that's very polarizing from the House of Diptyque, y'all know I love this house, it is Les Papiers. I call it Les Papiers. It's called L'Eau Papier. I call it Les Papiers. But this has a mimosa. It has like a steamed rice accord, some woods, some musk. Now, on my skin, it doesn't pull a lot of that steamed rice. On me, this smells very musky, woody, and floral. This smells musky, woody, and floral on me. But I've smelled this on other people, and you definitely get that, you know, steamed rice quality. So this is where air quality comes in as well. Because if you're doing, you know, humidity versus dry heat, you have to think to yourself, you might enjoy this fragrance, you might enjoy that warm rice note quality, but if it's humid, do you want to smell like warm rice when it's humid outside? Maybe you do. Maybe it works for you in your body chemistry, but maybe it might work better for someone who is pulling on more of those florals to wear a composition like this. So it's good to spend time with your fragrances, get acquainted with them, get acquainted with your chemistry and how the fragrance is reacting with you across seasons. This is the beauty of, you know, fragrance collecting. I always say that fragrance is a elevated hobby. We're talking about using it strategically right now, but I do always commend fragrance lovers for having a hobby that has a form of escapism that can also elevate your life, and it just helps you to find beauty and pleasure in the simplest things, and just, you know, kind of play up things that might seem a little bit more mundane by giving ourselves an experience with how we wear fragrance, how we layer, all those types of things. So if you are looking for a hobby, fragrance is an elevated hobby, okay? So yes, these are just some things, some nuances that you want to look out for. This is an anomaly of a fragrance for me, so I thought I might use this one as an example to call it out. Now, like I said before, I spray Camera a little bit more lightly, but I'm still gonna wear it in the heat because I get compliments on it. So that's where I'm kind of breaking the rules, but that's not gonna work for everybody. But I know what you're saying. Kiya, I don't really want to put away all of my fall fragrances. What if I really miss this fragrance or this profile? I got you. That's where we can develop and expound more upon the idea that I introduced in my previous video, which is fragrance families. So a fragrance family is a group of fragrances that bear similarities in notes and quality, but they have nuances to them. So one of my favorite fragrance families in my collection is the Lavender Vanilla fragrance family. Okay, so a part of this, I have Burberry Goddess, Mon Guerlain, and then of course from the House of Argos, which is Parfum. You can wear all of these year round, in my opinion. I feel like these shine, you know, year round, best all around, and I'm all about having my collection with breachable things that I can always wear type of fragrances. Cool. But if I had to say, I would definitely give Burberry Goddess more to the fall and winter of the fragrance families of this profile. You can comfortably wear this all year round, but if you're looking for something that has just a little bit more of an upbeat vibe to it, I would definitely go ahead and grab for Argos Parfum or the Mongrel Lawn, because these both have that zesty burst in them that distinguish them. Okay, so this one is going to have the lavender and it's going to have that bergamot, and this one still has the lavender vanilla, but it also has, you know, some nice florals in here, and then it has that lemon that comes across as like a zesty but candied type of lemon, so it's not ultra lemony. You get more of the bergamot in here, but I feel like of the fragrance family and the profile, you can still satisfy your craving for that profile with just a little nuance that this is my fresher version of, you know, the lavender vanilla versus this will be my more cozy, sensual, and, you know, more enveloping version of the lavender vanilla. So that's how you can kind of get around missing fragrances across seasons. If you create a fragrance family in your collection and cover all of your bases, then you will not have to miss out on a scent profile because it'll always be present, because it'll be reflected across the seasons. The next part of our strategic fragrance framework is to identify your objective. So what is the outcome that you want from wearing a fragrance? Do you want comfort? Do you want to signal that you're polished? Do you want to be approachable? Are you feeling mysterious or sensual? These are all objectives that you can identify to kind of accompany your mood and your vibe and how you want to be received by the world. Have y'all ever seen that commercial with Brown Sugar Babe? We're Brown Sugar Babes over here. So have y'all ever seen that commercial that they have where the lady has put on her Brown Sugar Babe oil and she's walking all around the city? She checks into her hotel, she goes to a hair appointment, she sits down at a restaurant, and everywhere she goes, everyone is all up on her body. They're like smelling her and like following her scent trail. So yes, depending on your objective, the fragrance can have that impact. And though it's a funny commercial, we can look at that and be like, now girl, if you knew you was not in the mood, then why did you wear probably Rich Auntie out knowing you were gonna make everybody go crazy? Smell, the olfactory sense of smell, it associates with like memory. We associate certain things with like authority. So never underestimate the power of strategy and how it plays in fragrance. And I know I use my fragrances strategically because, you know, sometimes people like to play with women, and then I'd be like, look at you, you done fell to the, you know, wiles and dials of a little rose and vanilla. You thought I was playing with you. No, I got you right where I want you. But yes, if I'm feeling like I want to be like comfortable and approachable, then I might wear something like Whipped Cherry from the House of Clean Reserve. It opens with that cherry and like this burst of pineapple, but it really dries down to the most like creamiest, coziest type of vanillic, almondy, nutty type of fragrance. It's kind of a medium skin scent. So if I'm feeling comfort, cozy, approachability, then I might reach for this. Okay, if say I want to be polished, then I might reach for my father figure because it has like that familiarity from the vanilla, the crispness from the iris. It has some figs, some musk. It has this airy, polished, powdery, but still a sweet tone vibe that I absolutely love. And say I want to be giving both. I want to be comfortable and I want to be cozy, but I want to give a polished type of vibe. I might reach for Lift Me Up from the House of Initio because it has that vanilla, but it also has this burst of bergamot in there that gives it just like this polished tone and this level of energy. If I want to be mysterious, y'all already know I'm going ahead and reaching for Lift Me Up's sister, which is Blanche Bette. This gives cozy, but it also gives mysterious, elusive. It just has this beautiful light feminine quality to it with the vanilla, the tuberose. Tuberose is a flower, but it comes and says I'm a sexy little flower. So I love a sneaky, sexy fragrance. This has all the things: feminine, light, airy, cozy, a high projecting fragrance with a soft smell. Y'all know I always talk up my Blanche Bette. So yes, think about your objective when you reach for your fragrances as well. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? Even if not for other people, what's the vibe you want to invoke for yourself? Because that is just as important. Another very important step, our fourth step in our strategic fragrance framework, is our longevity strategy, because we're not putting our fragrances on for them to just, you know, go off into thin air. We want them to stick to us. We want people to smell us. We want to get our compliments. We want to collect our compliments in full. And where a lot of people go wrong, they automatically think to just spray more. And while that is one technique that you can use if you spray in a concentrated area on your skin, then this is also a way, you know, people talk about pulse points. I like to just kind of spray my fragrances fragrances as how my body moves. So I'll spray like, wrists and like ankles, some areas like here in the chest, like places that heat up on my body. I will do that as a longevity strategy, but you also have to think of how you're putting your fragrances on. So take out your body care, your Charmosa, your Charmose, your Charmiose. Listen, we got a lot of, different body care products that we can choose from, but definitely once you've cleaned yourself, you need to make sure that you're doing the proper skin prep. This is the most thing that is going to impact your longevity. So you need to have, clean, moisturized skin. And then, we all like to go in with a little bit of brown sugar babe oils, body oils, Vaseline gel, all of these things. It helps the fragrance to last longer because the oil and the water of the fragrance, it creates like this oil and water don't mix type of vibe, which helps the, particles of the fragrance cling to it and then last longer. And then also too, with the longevity strategy, like I talked about in the beginning, this is Woody Spice from the House of Brown Sugar Babe, and I paired this with the Argos Parfum because I really just wanted to smell Argos Parfum. But with your longevity and your layering, think about what it is that you want to bring out, a different nuance. So if I had a different fragrance, for example, Blanche Bette, a good fragrance to layer this one with is the Villain Era oil from Brown Sugar Babe because it gives it a different nuance, but it has that same kind of like airy, mysterious vibe, and these both have some tuberose in them. So then you can, kind of pull that out one of each other. Same thing, I have L'Entre de Rouge sitting right here. You can get the same effect by layering the fragrances themselves together to see what is it that you want to play up and, play off of it. I gave a video example of this on my shorts the other day. And so say if I'm going to layer these two fragrances, the stronger one is going to be the L'Entre de Rouge. You want to go ahead and spray that one down first, and then you want to take your lighter fragrance, which would be the Blanche Bette, and then just go ahead and spray this one on top and in between. You spray this one on top and in between, and then it creates a beautiful like scent lock to where you can smell both fragrances equally, but you increase the longevity, the projection. Oh y'all, that smells good. That's a combo for y'all right there. This smells so good, so pretty. Absolutely love this combo. So our longevity strategy, it combines a lot of different things. Wearing your fragrances in the right season, that's going to play a part into longevity, but then also skin prep, having moisturized skin, incorporating a body oil, and then layering your fragrances. That's also going to help you to increase the longevity of your fragrance so you can collect your compliments in full and enjoy your fragrance all day. Our fifth step, we've got 6 steps here in our fragrance framework strategy. It might surprise some of y'all, which is actually the trend strategy. Now, some of y'all might be shocked to hear this from me because y'all know how I always talk about how I don't chase trends. I don't hop on every trend, and I'm not an influencer. But I do think that trends can be helpful when used mindfully. What I like to do is I like to look at the trend and see where it's going and, see how it might broaden my collection, see how it might fit into my life, see if it just is more, something that I want to explore, if it's fun for me. So it could be something like, matcha, or it could be like pistachio, it could be skin scents, or it can be a perfume milk that someone's gonna come out with. Of course, y'all, we are all human. Even me, I'm gonna follow a trend or two, but instead of letting every fragrance that comes out or every trend that is popular dictate my fragrance collection and how I bring things into my collection, I ask myself, does this trend align with my personal fragrance identity? Okay, and one way that you can help yourself discover your fragrance identity is just think about, what is comprised in your collection the most. What is it that you gravitate towards? That is going to help you figure out what your fragrance identity is, what you get the most compliments on, what you're always reaching for, and what you actually wear versus what sit and collects dust on the shelf. Because y'all, we all have the ones that we're picking up and the ones that are we looking at them, they looking at us, and we looking at them, and it's just kind of like you're not wearing the fragrances. So I definitely do think that trends just offer offer a, different option, a different opportunity. We love options. We love opportunities. We love to just even smell things. Even if I don't buy everything, I do go to the store and I smell a lot of things that come out just because I have the same curiosity as everyone else of like, what might this note smell like, or what might this composition of notes smell like. But just like anything else with your personal style, how you carry yourself, trends come and go. So you just want to make sure that your collection is based off of trends that actually speak to your fragrance identity and that work for you. And the final step to our fragrance framework, where it all comes together, is what is your fragrance collection strategy? This is where we culminate everything. And instead of asking ourselves, what am I going to buy next? Maybe ask yourself, what am I missing from my collection? Or who am I trying to be in this next phase of my life, and how my fragrance collection support that? Because a lot of times a fragrance collection is built accidentally, but when you have a strategy, that's when the fragrance collection starts to be intentional. So maybe you already have like 5 rose fragrances. I don't even know how many rose fragrances that I have, because I'm a rose lover. Maybe you have a ton of vanillas. Maybe you already have a bunch of freshies, and you might want to explore something different, y'all. This is where the archetypes come into place as well, because again, this is just a framework to get you started, to give you the psychology, to help you lean into what feels like you. But the beauty is we have all the archetypes within us. So maybe you have a lot of comfort curator perfumes because you're like a gourmand girly. Maybe you need something that is a little bit more polished, and vice versa. Maybe you have all of your zesty, soapy, powdery, professional, energetic, skin scent, clean scent type of vibes, and you might just want to relax a little bit and get yourself a little marshmallow fluff. It is okay. You will be fine. I promise you. So this is where you start to explore more with your identity and say, what is it that I want next? Where is it that I'm going next? And then build a fragrance collection that you're bringing things in strategically, intentionally, and not just haphazardly. So again, they empower you, because I feel like that is the point of our fragrance collection. That's why I say over here, you're never fully dressed without a fragrance. Don't save your fragrances. Always wear your fragrances. Wear them often. And your fragrance can help support you in your next level of where you're going as well. So these are things to think about. Your fragrance collection isn't better just because it's bigger, okay? It's better because it's functional for you. It serves a purpose. It empowers you, and it becomes strategic and intentional because it's about the way that you show up, about the way that you present yourself. And I absolutely love the art of fragrance collecting, so it can support that. So once you understand the things about, how weather plays a role, how your objective plays a role, how the season and environment that you're putting yourself in plays a role in your fragrance, you can start to be more strategic, more intentional, and that is where I feel like the magic happens. So yeah, babes, that is my full fragrance framework that I wanted to share with y'all. We got some layering combos, some layering tips, like just learning the full range of kind of like a perfume 101 vibe of how can we show up and be the best people that we want to be, elevate ourselves through fragrance. So I really did enjoy this topic. I feel like I pulled out so many fragrances for you all. So let me know, was this video helpful? Do you have any of these fragrances I referenced? Do you want to try any of them? Tell us, what are your go-to fragrances for work, or for the summertime, or for when you want to feel comforting and cozy? What are some gaps that you maybe have in your fragrance collection, or where is it that your fragrance collection really shines and maybe you have like an overload? Please just comment down below. We really would like to know if you have any more tips or things that you can share to help us. But as always, y'all, thank you so much for tuning into this video. Please go ahead and give me a like, leave me a comment down below, and subscribe to my channel for more fun videos like this, and I will catch y'all in my next video. Bye.